Shelter Insurance has covered a lot of miles and a lot of cars and drivers since 1946. We like knowing we have you covered, so you can just sit back and enjoy the ride. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Agent Mark Manning about Shelter's auto insurance discounts.
Unity Health, Harris Medical Center in Newport, Arkansas, and we welcome a new face to the program, and we're going to introduce you to LaDonna Johnston, and that name is familiar around the parts of White County. And welcome, young lady, to the program.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, tell us about what you do, and you have a couple of titles and a couple of very important titles, and also understand you're doing a great job. But tell us what you do here.
Thank you. I'm currently for Unity Health the Vice President of Patient Care Services. I oversee all of nursing. I have a few ancillary departments. Since the merger in February, we needed to look towards a little bit of leadership and help direct how we were moving here at Unity Health, Harris Medical Center. And I was asked to come up here on an interim basis while we do a search for an administrator. We want to be sure that we find somebody committed to our community and willing to serve here and move in the direction that we're looking for Harris Medical Center to go.
Okay, let me ask you this. When you talk about an interim basis, and what would make that job, and obviously, there's some things that you know, but what would be some things that maybe what you would know that are important to a person who does it on an interim basis as a person, opposed to the person that does it full time? What's different about that? What's different being an interim?
Currently right now is just taking the Unity Health culture from the Searcy campus. We've been there long term, and coming to Harris Medical Center, meeting the people, getting some direction from them, some direction from our associates, our medical staff here, as well as our community. What are we wanting to do here? What is already here? What can we build on? There's a lot of great things here in Newport, Arkansas, and we're not here to take over or destroy anything. We're here to build on what's already here, and we've got some great things here.
Talked to Mr. Montgomery several months ago when the acquisition first came about, and when we made that announcement, and he was just excited, and I know the folks in Newport, Arkansas were excited then and continue to be excited about having their hometown hospital here and having some direction in the direction that you talk about that we're going, and we're making strides on a day-to-day basis. It was not something that he thought was going to take 1 month or 2 months. It's a work in progress, and you guys are doing a marvelous job, obviously. And talk about some of the things we're doing facility-wise here at the hospital.
All right. Hopefully, as you're driving by our campus, you can see we've added some things with the crosswalk, some safety issues. We were having some issues with patients crossing and our staff crossing. We're doing a lot of landscaping. There's some questions, why are you starting on that? Well, you got to look good on the outside. If we don't look neat and clean on the outside, what are we going to look like on the inside? This facility is very clean. The environmental services, that's not something we had to do. It's a good hospital. It's clean. But we wanted to tidy up a little bit on the outside. We've done some signage. We're trying to be sure that we've got our name out there. We've brought in a little bit of furnishing in some different areas, a little bit seating for a patient's family, a place for them to sleep at night if they want to stay with their loved ones. We've resurfaced our back parking lot by the ER. If you haven't been here when it has been raining, we were having a little bit of drainage problems in the back. We have worked with the city. They have been so gracious and worked with us, and they've helped. And the last couple of rains, we have not had rain flooding in the back ER. You can get out of your car without a boat.
I gotcha.
We think that's positive. We were also having a few water issues internally, and we've got that taken care of. One of the things that we're trying to do is focus again on our community. What are our needs and what are our physicians' needs? And so across the street in that clinic, we're adding radiology services so that we can do x-rays. In the past, we were having to wheel the patient across the street, and if it was cold, raining, that type of thing. So we're going to be able to they'll be able to have their lab drawn in the clinic, they'll be able to have a chest x-ray in the clinic, and they won't be coming back and forth. That same clinic, there's push doors. We're going to make automated doors there so they'll open. It's hard when you're trying to help a handicapped person get through those. Working on heating and air. Going to be changing some carpets in one of our clinics. We have several clinics, so our focus again is on our community as a whole. It's not just this campus, so we're doing a lot of work in our physician clinics because they're our partners too. They're what bring the patients here. They provide the care, so we want to be very attentive to their needs.
I have heard nothing but good things about this acquisition. changing the name and the direction that we're going. And again, I always allude to this facility as my hometown hospital. I mean, it's been my hometown hospital for 59 years, and it has been for a lot of us here in Newport, Arkansas. And anytime you can make improvements to where you are, you get excited about that. And I know that we as patients are very excited.
As a child, my grandfather had surgery here.
Right.
And at the time, they didn't allow children to come visit. And since it's a one-story structure, I could go to the window, and they brought him over to the window. That's my memory of this hospital.
Made it work for you?
Yes.
Made it work for you.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about you and growing up and where you went to school and so on and so forth. Tell us a little bit about you personally.
I grew up in Bald Knob, Arkansas.
Okay.
My parents are Don and Mary Hutchison. My mother owns her own business there. My dad was a pipeliner and a farmer, so I started off driving a tractor when I was 8.
Wow.
Married my high school sweetheart. We started dating when we were 16, and we went to Harding University. I graduated from Harding Nursing School there, and I worked a little bit at both hospitals that were in Searcy, but my home was always White County. And I just stayed there and grew there, did different management positions, did nursing education, and then just in 1996 I started working with Mr. Montgomery and Stuart Hill. That has been, Stuart's the Vice President of Financial Services, and then Mr. Montgomery is the President. Randy and I, my husband, is the head football coach at Bald Knob. He's also the head baseball coach.
Right.
So he carries a few hats. We have 2 children. Shelby. Shelby is our oldest. She finished nursing school, and our son Seth is 17, and he will be a senior this year.
He have any plans about being in the medical profession as such?
Or does
he want to follow Dad's footsteps and maybe be in the coaching profession? Does he know?
He's pardon me, a typical male. He can't make up his mind.
Well, at 17, we've got a ways to go before we have to make a decision.
Yeah,
no doubt.
No, he hasn't made a full commitment. He's kind of dabbling around. He hasn't decided yet.
Well, I know, again, we're excited to have you here and hope your stay is a good stay. And we know that, along with Rebecca and everybody here at this hospital, it's a friendly group. It's a friendly staff. When you come in, I had to check. I checked into the hospital about, it's been 6 weeks ago, and the care, first time I'd been in a hospital in a long time, but the care was magnificent.
Great.
I mean, it was just literally magnificent, and I couldn't ask for better care anywhere in the world, and that's what I expected that out of my hometown hospital. That's what I got. It hadn't changed a bit, only it was better than I ever could imagine.
Good. That's what we're here for. We're here to take care of our patients, and we're here to do it to the best of our ability and be nice about it.
Well, Donna, it's good to meet you.
You
good
too.
to meet you. We hit on everything that we needed to hit on. You think Rebecca will be okay with our interview?
She's a little picky.
She is, and she'll
so
tell me if we need to edit out anything.
Yeah, okay.
She usually edits out my grammar.
Oh,
Some of
okay.
my grammar's not
Well, she
good.
might get this Bald Knob twang too.
That's right. Well, we appreciate you being here, and congratulations
Thank you.
on your interim job, and it's always have somebody nice to be at the top of the chain and somebody we can look up to.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
LaDonna. Let's continue on more of our show. We're at Unity Health, and that's Harris Medical Center. We're in Newport, Arkansas, and it's our hospital of choice. As usual, before we get started in visiting with the professional Dr. Gavin McDowell, we had 4 or 5 minutes worth of comedy time to visit. How are you, sir? Dr. Gavin McDowell, thanks for joining us here on the Business Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Not much.
Hey, the last time I saw you, the last time I saw this guy, I had to come in and said, Doc, my eyes are red. I got pink eye. And you went, pink eye? No, let me explain pink eye to you. And I said, no, wait for the show.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I had. I thought I had pink eye, but what you did, you gave me some medicine that cleared it up.
Yes.
So tell me about why I thought I had pink eye, and I might not have had pink eye, or I did have some type of pink eye.
Because you had pink eye.
Good, I had pink eye.
No, I'm kidding.
I
No.
knew it's what I had. I told you it's what I had, and you knew exactly
No.
what to give me. Tell me about that
A lot of
disorder.
people, if their eye's a little red, I've got the pink eye.
Yeah, the pink eye. It's not
pink
not
eye.
pink eye. It's
I got
the pink eye.
But
or conjunctivitis.
yeah, ooh, look,
Hey,
someone studied before
Yeah.
they came in.
Yeah,
I'm
someone knew, studied that in college.
Here's the thing. There's
right.
pink eye is it's a layman's term for a form of conjunctivitis.
Okay.
There are a lot of different forms. There's viral conjunctivitis,
Okay.
bacterial conjunctivitis, allergic conjunctivitis. There's blepharoconjunctivitis. Anyway, lots of conjunctivitis. You had a bacterial conjunctivitis,
Right. Okay.
and what differs from a viral to bacterial to allergic? Allergic is obviously comes on when cutting grass,
Okay.
you're cutting the fields,
Sure.
burning the fields, you're around pets, usually very intense itching. I mean, you want to dig your eyeballs out with a rusty spoon.
Mine
They
wasn't that
itch
bad.
So bad.
Yeah, mine wasn't that bad.
Viral
Okay.
is viral and bacterial are very close in nature. You're going to usually have some gunk coming out of
Okay,
the eye.
yeah.
They're both going to itch, but viral is going to be what comes out of the eye is usually the differing point. Like with bacterial conjunctivitis, you're going to have like a green or a yellow discharge.
Okay.
Yeah, very visual. But anyway, if you got a green yellow discharge with a little bit of itching, that's almost always bacterial. You throw some antibiotics at it, and we'll probably have you patched up in 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Viral, you're kind of boned. I mean, you're going to have that 7 to 10 days. And actually, some viral conjunctivitis are so contagious. I've had people, I've had some professionals here in town be like, "Hey, doc, is this the real thing?"
Okay.
And actually, we have a test. It's a viral tester. They'll actually check for specific antibodies in your tears to let us know if it is, in fact, a very contagious form of conjunctivitis. And if that's the case, I'll tell them, you need to kind of hang low for about 7 to 10 days.
Being contagious,
Mm-hmm.
is it this and touching? Is it? I mean,
Well, look at it this way. Your eye, you had bacterial, which, I mean, it's going to itch somewhere in the lines of viral, but, you'll rub it. You don't even know you're rubbing at
Right,
it.
okay.
And then, okay, I'm done.
Okay.
And then you go grab your doorknob at your house.
And somebody-
then you go
okay.
get your hand towel in your bathroom. Then
Okay.
you get in your car and drive. Oh, I need to wash my hands now. Well,
Right.
8 other people has touched that doorknob and the steering wheel, and you had a toddler lick something,
Yeah,
that you've had
yeah,
your hand on.
Yeah.
It's easy to spread.
Very
Easy to
contagious.
spread. Yeah.
Very irritable. I mean,
There's actually one type of viral conjunctivitis we call epidemic conjunctivitis. Yeah, it is like you quarantine that person from as many people as you can.
really.
Yes.
I guess I didn't have that.
No. If you did, I would have been like, hey.
Hey, yeah.
Actually, don't even shake my hand.
No, just yeah.
That's such us.
Yes, sir. Hey, good
Yeah.
to see you. Good to see you. So, in diagnosing those things, I mean, obviously different treatments for those,
Yep.
and when a guy gets viral, or what constitutes a guy getting viral compared to bacterial? I mean, is that just the where it is, where it's how you contacted it?
Well, it's not so much how you contacted it. Your immune system fights off bacteria and viruses every day.
Sure.
You are constantly fighting something off.
Okay.
We have bacteria that live on us all the time. That doesn't make us dirty. We had actually
Right.
have bacteria. We have viruses we come in contact with on a daily basis.
Okay.
Your immune system does a pretty good job of getting rid of them. However, sometimes it's not going to be able to take care of everything. Sometimes you may have something going on else in the body that is keeping your immune system from fighting this particular bacteria virus off as well as it normally would. So therefore, that bacteria virus is able to overcome the defenses of the body, and
Okay.
this is going to plume up, and you're going to have that infection. Now, the eye is a very common place to have it because it's
I was gonna ask.
warm,
Okay.
it's moist.
Okay.
We have, it's a great breeding ground for bacteria.
All right, here's my next question.
Mm-hmm.
You get that in your eye. Is it more than likely just in the eye? Is it?
You have it everywhere in your body.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there's going to be particular ones, like, for example, in the eye, we're talking usually, there's a couple different forms of staph that
Okay.
we have on us all the time.
All right.
There's, I'm not going to bore you with that.
Okay, I understand.
There's a lot of common ones we have.
Okay.
But even though our body normally fights that one off, it just can't fight it off that
All
well
the
at
way.
that time.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Well, a few drops and I'm just good as gold and ready to go. And
just threw a few drops, and I literally threw drops at you. I threw the bottle at you.
Looks bad from here is what you said.
Yep.
Looks bad from here, and you were over there.
Yes.
Looks bad from over here.
Well,
Try this.
First off, I'm an eye guy. If
Right.
I'm standing 30 feet away from you and I can get a look at your eye, if it's something
I was
jacked
shocked
up,
that you could
I'm
see
going to
that.
tell you, hey, your eye's jacked up.
Yeah, I was shocked because you were probably 15 feet away.
Yeah.
And you said, well, what's wrong with your eyes? And I said, well, I'm in here to see if I can get some drops, but thanks for noticing. But that was pretty neat that you could see that far.
I'm smarter than a little.
No,
And I got really great vision. Imagine that.
great eye vision.
Eye
vision?
I'm not
Not
quite
ear
up to the
vision?
eye vision.
How's your ear vision?
Ear vision's better than you think. Hindsight's fantastic.
Hindsight's always. It's right where it needs to be. 2010. And speaking of numbers, 2020, I do know what those are. What do those numbers mean? You have 2020, you have 2030, you have 2010. You got 2010. If you got 2010, you can hit a baseball better than you can if you got 2020.
Okay, 2020 or 2200 or 2010.
2200.
That is, well, here in the United States, it's 2020.
Okay.
Everywhere else, it's metric. It's 6'6".
Okay. Is that
But
right?
anyway,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. 2020 denotes that a normal person who has normal eyesight, what we consider to be normal,
Okay.
can stand 20 feet away from some object and identify it.
Okay.
That's the top number.
Okay.
The bottom number is where you have to stand to see the exact same.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I got that reversed.
Okay.
The top number is where you stand.
Right.
Bottom number is where a normal person can
Can
stand
see it,
and see
can see
something.
it.
So 2020 means we stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and see the exact same thing. At 2200, I have to stand 20 feet from something that you can stand 200 feet from and see it.
So if you got 2200, you're not seeing real well.
Exactly. You have
And-
to get right up on it.
And 2010 means
2010 means I'm 20 feet from where something I can see, and you are 10 feet from it. So I have better vision than you do.
right. Yeah.
So you want a
The
very
normal
low
eye sees
number.
at 20 what your eye sees at 10. So you have a plus. I guess it's a plus eye.
Yeah,
I guess you call it plus
and,
eye.
and very few people actually have 20/10 vision. It's hard to get there.
I have read articles before about baseball players, and I mentioned that a while ago. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I look at the pictures. Come on.
You got 3 books over the weekend and you colored 2 of them. I'm impressed.
I was visiting my brother Kenny Black last night, and we were talking about reading. We were talking about high school education, another story within a story. And I said, Kenny, when's the last time you read a book? He said, last night. I said, you read a book last night? I said, what was it? And he said, it's Sink It Rusty. And Sink It Rusty was a little old toy book. It was about 8 pages that we had since we were a kid. He said, I just looked at his wife is gone. Cindy's gone for a couple of days. And anyway, he said, I just got going through it and I found Sink It Rusty. And I thought, that's not reading.
What's sad is, and you bring that up, I read a book last night. It was Tumble Bumble. And
Tumble Bumble.
I could probably recite it by memory now.
Tumble Bumble.
Yeah.
But my baseball story is I've read some articles where there have been a few great hitters in baseball who had better than 20/20 vision, and they say that just allows you to pick up the ball quicker because
Right.
it's megaseconds,
Yes.
milliseconds that it
And
takes
it's
to get-
also, with some of the professional baseball players, they pick up the seam rotation on the ball.
Absolutely.
And actually, there's some subsets of optometry that's sports vision.
right.
That we try to help with athletes, and actually what we're using, or what I'll do with some athletes is there are specific colored contact lenses you can have tinted that'll help you pick up seams on the baseball a little bit sooner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal, pretty neat. You can get all that information right here if you come in and visit
If
with
you just happen to peruse through my office.
Yeah, or get an appointment and come see. And like we always talk
perfect, yeah.
about, that if you feel real bad, you got congestion, you go to the doctor, and and if you cut your toe, you go to the doctor. But if something happens to your eyes, you go, oh no, I'm going to be. Or if you don't see very,
Right.
get your eyes checked every year.
Yeah.
Get 'em
Please. I
checked.
mean, it's.
Come in and get 'em checked.
and I say this all the time. I don't see how instantly improved vision cannot be at the top of your to-do
It should
list.
be. It should be at the top. Good to see you, my
see you
friend.
too.
Y'all do a lot of stuff here. You're in the Village Mall, Newport,
Yeah,
Arkansas. You come by, we'll talk eye care to you. We'll
Eye vision.
We'll talk about eye vision, ear vision, nose vision, whatever type of vision you need to talk about. This guy's a professional. Gavin McDowell at Customized Vision Care in the Village Mall in Newport. Karen Hunt joins us at the Jackson's Funeral Home, Malcolm Avenue, Newport, Arkansas, and throughout northeast, north central Arkansas. And it's always a pleasure to get to talk to you, girl.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm absolutely wonderful, and the question is, how are you?
I'm good.
Good deal.
I'd
good
complain
deal.
if I could.
That's right. And nobody listens.
Nobody
Nah,
cares,
they don't
no.
care about the complaints. They don't hear about what's good. Life is good. I got a bunch of those T-shirts. Life is very,
That's
very
right. That's the truth.
good. Remind our audience a little bit about you and tell us about Karen. I mean, you're on here a lot. You're on here three
Oh,
or
my
four times.
goodness.
You ever tell us a little bit about you?
Well, let's see. I say a hometown girl.
Right?
Not really from Newport, from Tuckerman. Go Bulldogs.
It's hometown, yeah.
I've been here at the funeral home for 13 years.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I've raised my youngest son here. He's going to be 14 next month.
Okay.
The oldest one graduated last year, and he's finished his first year at Line College.
Wow, yes, that's interesting.
So a lot of time has passed since I rolled into Jackson's funeral home with a 1-year-old baby in diapers and an elementary school student. So here we are all these years later, still here.
Tell me a little bit about the process. First of all, how'd you get to Jackson's funeral home? What attracted you there? What got you to the job?
I had started in drug and alcohol rehabilitation, didn't like it, wasn't for me, and so I had sat back for a few years and thought I paid a lot of money for this education, and
You did.
and now what? And I was thinking one day I'm going to try to work closer to home, and I drove through town and I looked over here and I thought they could probably use my talents.
Okay.
And so I came in here, I talked to Jan, I dropped off a resume. It was the only resume I dropped off that day.
Wow.
I went home and thought that's where I need to be. And Jan called me back and I've been here ever since.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I probably knew that, but I've kind of forgotten, like most of us probably have forgotten how you got here. Well, tell us this about being here for 13 years. Tell us a little bit about your job description. What do you do? I mean, like you're here when Miss Jan came to interview you. I know you do this, and you do a lot in pre-arrangement, but tell us about some of the job responsibilities that you have at Jackson's.
Well, I started off in general office duties. Now I'm a licensed funeral director, so I can make funeral arrangements and run funeral services. Most of what I do, though, is behind the scenes.
Right.
I take care of your video tributes, collages, obituaries, things like that. We do the service folders and just kind of do the coordination of the services and the paperwork. There's a lot more paperwork involved than you would think of
Right.
to file death certificates and
Right.
life insurance policies and things like that. So we have a staff and we all work together to make sure everything happens as quickly as possible and as efficiently and just the best way it can.
Well, I think all of us talk, when you talk about the business in itself, there's so many details in planning a funeral and then in the funeral and then after the funeral. Lots of details that you
Oh,
guys
yes.
have to cover, and no doubt you guys do it quite well.
We ask 1,000 questions.
Yes, sir. And just to get 1,001 answers,
That's right.
you got to get the answers.
Well, you have one chance to do this right.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's what we strive for, to do it right.
One of the things you and I have always talked about here in getting on this program is prearrangement and the importance of that and why it's important to prearrange. And not all of us do that, but a lot of times we don't do that because we don't have enough information. But it is certainly something that everybody needs to consider.
Everyone needs to consider it, and everyone needs to do it. Even if I think prearrangement and prepayment is the way to go because it locks your prices in, and we know the inflation rate is
Sure.
going up higher than the interest you're
Right.
getting on savings accounts
Sure,
and things
right.
like that. At the very least, I think everyone should prearrange. You know, write down what you want. Write down the service you want. Who do you want to sing? What songs do you want? Anything that you can have done lessens the burden on those you leave behind. And even if you choose not to pay, or if you're unable to pay anything, and of course we work out payment plans for anyone.
Sure,
Pretty much
absolutely.
anything you can afford, we
Absolutely.
will make a payment plan for you. You know, you can pick out your casket and things like that, because a lot of times when people get in the showroom, they don't know what you wanted.
No, they have no idea.
They have no idea.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there, yes.
You know, and emotion takes over, and a lot of times, I mean, you and I have both lost our mothers, and we know nothing's good enough.
Sure,
When
and
you're
you're
in
absolutely
that
right.
room, nothing is
That
good
is right,
enough.
absolutely.
So if you've already selected what you want, you know, it lifts that burden from your children or your wife and husband to know, you know, they're doing what you wanted.
Not that it's any more important for a man to prearrange more so than a woman, but from a man's perspective, you look at that and you go, if you're a man and you go, I don't want my wife to have to handle all the questions and the decisions that need to be made. As a man, we need to do it for the same reason, but an extra plus for our reasons where it won't leave any burden to the rest of the family.
That's right. And, you know, it's just like my children, my oldest son is 19, and it would be devastating to him to have to make those decisions as young as he is. And there's no telling what I'd end up with. So,
and you might be surprised, but you might be really surprised.
I might be. I told them once here, I said, you know, I dress up every day. So I said, I want, when I die, I want to be wearing pajamas. But if my kids bring pajamas from home and say, these were her favorite, don't use those. They're the rattiest things ever. Don't let them do it.
Ones.
That's right. That's right. But they know they're the favorite.
That's right.
So, you know, it helps everyone. And I have heard probably 80% of the people who prearrange with me talk about how easy it is, how they expected it to be so hard and so emotional, and it's not. I try to make it easy.
Can I interrupt? I just want to say, I think it's so much less emotional prearranging than it is later on when you got to make those decisions. Well, what is good enough for your mother? And I think from an emotional standpoint, a lot tougher to do it later than it is to prearrange.
I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely agree. So it's, if you can walk in here and do your own prearrangement, you're in pretty good shape to start with.
Absolutely, you are.
So there's nothing to be upset about.
If you want to prearrange, how do we do that? Who do we call? How do we contact you?
You just call Jackson's Funeral Home at 523-5822.
Okay.
There are several of us here who can do prearrangement. You can walk in because typically someone's here all the time.
Right, sure.
Who can do prearrangement. If you need to meet on the weekend, let us know. We'll be here. If we need to come to you, call us. We'll set up a time to come out.
Okay.
You are under no obligation because you walk in the door.
Right.
You're under no obligation because you look.
Sure,
you
absolutely.
know.
You're shopping.
And you're shopping,
absolutely.
And even if you say, you know, just let me give you some information, let us take some biographical information, start a file on you. Those things are extremely helpful.
Absolutely.
To have.
Yeah, you'll have information based on when that time does come, even if they don't prearrange.
Right.
Absolutely. That's
Something
good
to
stuff.
start with.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good to see you, girl.
You too.
You've always got great information and just reminding folks about how long you've been here, what all you do, and appreciate you taking time to visit with us.
Thank you.
She's Karen Hunt. We're at Jackson Funeral Home. We're at the Business Spotlight, and we're going to continue on with more of the show.
With interest rates still near historic lows, now's a great time to purchase a new home or refinance your existing loan. Call or go see Kenny Thaxton at ENG Lending for an evaluation of your existing mortgage or for a pre-qualification on a new home purchase loan. ENG Lending is a division of the Bank of England in England, Arkansas, which was chartered in 1898. They offer a full range of today's mortgage products, such as USDA Rural Development, FHA, VA, and conventional financing. They offer 100% financing to qualified borrowers. ENG Lending offers great rates and unmatched customer service. Stop by today and see Kenny Thaxton with ENG Lending located in the Village Mall in Newport, or call him today at 870-495-3931. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 418481.
Hi, everybody. On behalf of ENG out in the Newport Village Mall, I'm Bud Black, and let's talk some sports. I got several things I want to talk about, a potpourri today. As we filmed in early July, there was some good news for Tiger Woods. He had just completed the first round of the Greensboro Classic at 4 under par 66. You say, okay, big deal, Bud. What's that all about? So the lowest score he's had in about 18 months in a golf tournament for a single round after being just absolutely horrendous. talked to a lot of people that said, oh, well, he deserved what he got, you know. No, he didn't. I mean, he had some personal problems off the golf course, and, you know, and we all have some personal problems every now and then. But they really have changed his life and his game. We do forget, though, that even after those things occurred, he came back and won a few tournaments, didn't win any majors, but he won like 3, you know, last year and the year before last. But in the last 12 months, it has really, really been tough, and in the last month especially. So I think the game of golf needs Tiger Woods. You know, he's not an old guy. You know, he started falling apart in his mid-30s, his game falling apart, which is ridiculously young for a golfer with his ability and talent. I would hope that, you know, that he could get things back together, that he could return to prominence in the game of golf, because I think the name of golf and I think sport needs Tiger Woods. You know, it's just more exciting to watch. Even though there are a lot of new young guys out there on the PGA that are doing well. And speaking of that, you know, if you're Under Armour, the company, you got to be awfully proud. You've got Jordan Spieth, who's the hottest golfer playing. You've got Tom Brady, who's the Super Bowl winning quarterback, working for you. You got Steph Curry, who just won the NBA championship with the Warriors, and Misty Copeland, who was just named the lead ballet dancer for the American Ballet Company, which is quite a distinguished honor. So all Under Armour folks, and no Nikes in the bunch anywhere. I wonder what in the world is going on with that. Got to talk some Cardinals a little bit as we film. Cardinals have a 7-game lead. It had been 9.5, 7-game lead. Cardinals are just so frustrating. They're so good at times. When they're good, they're very, very good. Man, they win 6, 7 games in a row, and you think they lost half of them because they just normally don't score a lot of runs like they need to. You know, the Cardinals, they say, well, you know, they're averaging 4 runs a game. Sure, they'll go 1, 2, 1, and 12. And add it up. Oh, they're averaging 4 a game. And I just don't know. It's going to catch up with them. They're going to come back to the norm. The pitching has been great. It's been superb. It can't continue to be that good, I don't think. You just can't expect it to be that good. It can continue, of course, but you don't expect it to be that good. And here's the real problem. In Major League Baseball, anything, you know, it's real easy to lose 5 or 6 in a row in a hurry. It's real easy to win 5 or 6 in a row in a hurry. You got a 7-game lead, all of a sudden Pittsburgh could string 6 or 7 in a row, and the Cardinals have a little bad stretch. You got a race. You're going to have a race anyway between the Cubs and the Pirates and the Cardinals, even though the Cubs can beat everybody except St. Louis, apparently. Now, they'll get a chance at Wrigley Field before the All-Star game. You may be watching this, some of you, after the All-Star game. And we'll see how that 4-game set went up there. But anyway, the Cubs, I thought they were going to have a big hitting ball club, especially at Wrigley Field. They're having trouble scoring runs. The Cardinals have trouble scoring runs. As a matter of fact, I'm looking around and I see guys pitching perfect games into the 7th inning. Cleveland went 3 straight days with pitchers pitching no-hitters in the 6th inning. My goodness, what's going on? These guys are not Sandy Koufax and Cy Young. I just don't know if it's people don't know how to hit anymore, or they can't hit, or the bats have changed, or the ball has changed, or the game has changed so much. And the pitchers go out, and we see all these 2-1, 1-0 games, and I know baseball purists say, well, that's pretty nice. You know, we don't mind those. I still think the game needs excitement. I think it needs runs. As I look at it, the Houston Astros can score runs, and Toronto, the Blue Jays, score runs. Other than that, I'm telling you, folks, you know, not anybody is scoring a lot of runs in the game of baseball. One of the big problems, every game, one team or another strikes out 15 times or 17 times. Nobody can put the bat on the ball. Nobody hits doubles. Nobody hits triples. Cardinals get 9 hits in a ball game. 8 of them will be singles. Other bloop double. They've hit the ball a little bit better in June. Some of the guys they were counting on, like Hayward, has had a much better June than he did April and May. And that's got to continue. It's got to continue for his benefit, too, because he's looking at a $200 million contract if he bats .275 and has 15 or 20 home runs and plays great defense like he can do. Somebody will pay the guy a $200 million contract. I don't know if it'll be the Cardinals or not, you know, the Cardinals are pretty tight with the buck. They don't want to spend that type of money. But if they want to keep Hayward, they're going to have to do that, especially if he has a final 3 months like he had in June, which was a really, really good month for the big right fielder for the Cardinals. But anyway, is it the pitching that's that great, or that the hitters are just not that good? I don't know. Don't have an answer, but I know what I see, and I know what the stats say, and I know in this day of sabermetrics that, you know, pitching is king, and if you can pitch, you know, you can win ball games. I don't think it's so much as if you can pitch, you can win ball games. I think it's you play against teams that can't hit consistently day in and day out. Anyway, that's just a quick look at some things going on. Hope you enjoyed the program, enjoyed visiting with you. Thank you so much. We thank Kenny and all the crew out at ENG for sponsoring our program here on Cable 15 TV and cable15tv.com. I am Bud Black. Thank you for watching so much, and so long for now.
Merchants Planters Bank, downtown Newport, and really a lot more places than that, and out on the highway, and in Herman, and northeast, north central Arkansas. We're just everywhere at MEP,
We're
aren't we?
everywhere you need to be, absolutely.
That is right, and we are talking about a little summertime and some beautiful weather, and I've got a happy summer going on. But tell me about this Customer Appreciation Day we've got coming up.
Well, we always tell you guys that we appreciate you. We appreciate your business. We're
But
glad
do something
you're here.
for us.
Right. So now we're going to show you how much we appreciate you. And we're going to show you that in the best way that we know how, which is giving you food.
Yeah.
We're all about that around here. And so we've
like
decided we've decided on Wednesday, July the 15th.
Okay.
We're going to have a little Customer Appreciation Day out at our branch on Highway 67.
Okay.
Martha and the gang there are gearing up for it. We're going to bring our big grill out. I don't know if anyone's seen that. We've had it out at the football games and around town and everything. Big old grill. I think we can do about 400, 500 hot dogs on it.
Wow, yeah.
Maybe not that many, but a lot. It's big. And so we're going to have Emma P. That's what we've named her, Emma P.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Emma
She
P.
will be there.
She will be
She will be
there,
there.
and she'll be hot and smoking.
That's
and,
right.
We're just gonna do drinks and food and just celebrate, summertime. And I think we're gonna have a crazy Hawaiian shirt contest.
Okay.
So if you want to come in your craziest Hawaiian shirt,
Good
feel
deal.
free.
Good deal.
And just have a good time. And really the point of it is to say, hey, thanks a lot. We really do appreciate our customers. We know that you guys are the reason that we are here, and we are here to serve you. And so instead of just telling you, we're going to show you. The American Red Cross will be there as well.
Good deal.
They'll be doing a blood drive from 2 to 6, I believe.
Okay.
So, come in, grab some lunch, and stay and, give the gift of life. Help give back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we're excited about that. We think it'll be a fun day, and we invite everyone to come.
And it's on the 15th, July the 15th, on a Wednesday, 11 to 2 is the goodie part.
It's
And then
the
the
good
real goodie is the giving of the blood afterwards. But, boy, if you want to eat, you better get there sometime between 11 and 2. Because I imagine about 2
Sometime
o'clock, the hot dogs are going to be gone.
They probably will.
They'll be gone.
The hot dogs will be gone, and the grillers will probably be hot.
That's
So,
right. I guarantee you they
between
will.
11 and 2 for that.
It's good to have a Customer Appreciation Day. We as customers appreciate us having an Appreciation Day.
Well,
Thank
we
you so
appreciate
much.
you appreciating
That's
us.
right, exactly. What else is going on?
Well, because it is summer, and that is the time of vacations typically, I just wanted to remind everyone that if you are planning a trip, especially a trip that's out of state,
Okay.
call us and let us know. Our debit card department will block certain states, and a lot of them are, the ones that are the vacation spots and things, simply because they're also kind of a hot spot for fraud.
Sure.
And so you'll go to these places and try to use your debit card, and it's blocked.
Right.
It's a simple call to us, and we can do it, but I wanted to make everyone aware of that so they can call before they go, and we can unblock you for a specific amount of time, and then put the block back on when you're back, to avoid any inconvenience or
Absolutely.
embarrassment or anything.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, it happened to me one time. It was a couple of years ago. I was in Florida, and when it first happened, you go, "Oh no, I probably don't have any money." And I thought,
scary at
"Isn't that the first, the first stop you make in Florida?" And you go, "I'm in trouble now."
oh no, what
But
now?
I called and got it taken care of in a matter of a minute or two, and everything was just good then.
Most
But I
people
didn't do
just-
that. I didn't call, and I knew to call, but I didn't. I just
Well,
forgot.
a lot of people don't know, so that's why we're reminding you. And like I said, I know it's an inconvenience when it happens, but really we have found that it has prevented so many attacks
Yes,
on
yeah.
people's accounts.
Yeah.
So many. So it's just a security method that we feel very strongly about, that
Right.
we want to keep in place. But again, we don't want it to interfere with your vacation.
Right, absolutely not.
Having fun. So just call us and let us know, and we'll take care of it, and you can be on your merry way.
We mentioned before we got on here, and we talked a little bit about Facebook. Facebook, obviously, social media and what it. So much business today is on Facebook. There's a lot. It was just originally, a site. People would just kind of tell what they were doing and blah blah blah. But it's gotten where it's where there are so many people on Facebook that it's a good place to be promoting product and services that you do have. We want to talk a little bit about Facebook. Talk a little bit about our insurance agency.
Well, yeah. Just a reminder that M&P Insurance and Investment Services is an independent, local insurance agency.
Yeah.
They have many different carriers that they can choose from to provide you with the best rates and services.
Yeah. Shopping
They're-
prices, shopping
right.
services.
They're there on Malcolm. A lot of people think, oh, it's just the insurance agency that services the bank. That's not it at all. It is there for the community.
Right.
Again, what we love about it is that your insurance agency is right here. They're local. They'll answer your phone call at 9, 10 o'clock at night when your basement's flooded and you're not sure what to do. I mean, they really will stick by their customers. And yes, we are on Facebook, M&P Insurance and Investment Services. You can find us there. We'll offer some helpful tips.
Yeah.
We also, to us, our best product and service is our people. So we'll focus a lot on our agents and give you some fun information about them so you can tease them about it or mention it the next time you talk to them. We have little contests and giveaways and things like that. So we encourage you to contact us, in the best way you feel. If you want to come in and see us, we love that. We love to see you face to face. We love to hear from you on the phone. But, if you just want to keep in touch with us on social media, we're there for you too.
It's amazing, and especially the younger generation, and I mean like the high school kids or junior high kids and then the college kids today. It's amazing the things that those kids can do, because I have one that's he's 20 and fixed to be 21, and what they do with their cellular devices is just...
I just today read a very interesting statistic on the millennials, the younger generation, and their smartphones. 32% of them sleep with their smartphone in the bed with them.
Is that right?
Not on the nightstand, not in the same room. It's in the bed with them. That's how important their cell phones are to them. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I know that Ben Black and I left this morning. I picked Ben up at the house. We're going to Batesville, do a little work up there. And we got just out, a quarter mile from the house. And I forgot my cell phone.
Had to turn around.
And I thought, yeah, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to turn around and get it, because I know how I would be without my cell phone. And then we were visiting with a couple people at Batesville Day, and we were talking about where would we be. As a matter of fact, John Kent, who runs the Firestone Company up at Batesville, and they've had a computer problem the last 3 or 4 days that they've been there. Started this last week and into the weekend, and then hadn't got straightened out yet. And we were talking about where would be if we didn't have computers and cell phones. I mean, how can we conduct business without a cell phone?
Well, we used to do it, I think.
Oh, for years,
Yeah.
for years.
I think we would have been okay.
Yeah.
I really do. But there's no denying that the smartphone has absolutely changed the way everyone does
Absolutely
business
it has.
and the way that they operate. I mean, who would have thought? My mom still is very upset that we do not have our hover cars. She
Right,
really
you're
wants
right.
that hover
It's the
car.
time for that, isn't it?
But I think, you know what? We have all of the world's information and data in a little contraption, that little
At the tip of
rectangle
our
there.
fingers.
So, I mean, I'm not too upset about the hovercraft. I think we're okay. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's changed the way people do business. It's changed the way they interact with one another. And whether we like it or not, it is what it is. It's here. So, like I said, we want to be out there wherever our customers are. And we know we have them all over and using different types of ways to connect with us. So,
Yeah, online banking,
Right.
on your cell phone,
We've
do
got
your
that.
banking business, Merchants and Planters Bank you're fishing out on the river and you need to do a little banking business, so go ahead and do some.
Forgot to pay my credit card. Here
Absolutely.
you go. You can. And again, we want our customers to have that. We're proud to offer that, but we also want our traditional customers who maybe aren't as comfortable with it or haven't embraced it to know that we're here for them as well, and we will never forget the importance of the human factor.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it regardless of these machines, these machines are only as good as what the people are that's putting the stuff in the machines.
Right.
And that's us.
Yep.
That's us. And you were going to mention a Facebook link.
Right now, just find our insurance agency on Facebook. It's MMP Insurance and Investment Services.
Good deal. Good deal. Good to see you, girl.
Thank you.
I always get interesting stuff when we come to Merchants and Planners Bank, and what I always say, my hometown bank doing business right here in downtown Newport throughout northeast and north central Arkansas. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Let's continue on with more of the Business Spotlight.
Farmers Tire Mart, 1508 Malcolm Avenue in Newport. Tommy Bain and family been serving folks in Newport, Jackson, and surrounding counties for many, many years. We're available on the web right now at farmerstiremart.com and also on Facebook at Facebook/Farmers Tire Mart. You can schedule appointments at Farmers Tire Mart by going to marty.ftm@outlook.com. If you want to schedule some general maintenance for your automobile at Farmers Tire Mart, do so at marty, marty.ftm@outlook.com. You know, we carry a large selection of tires, and it'll be for a passenger car or a truck. We have several brands to choose from, and usually 1 or 2 day delivery if we don't have those particular tires in stock that you're looking for. And let me tell you, we do all kinds of tires. You need tires for your ATV, we've got them or we can get them. You need tires for a lawnmower, we've got them or we can get them. If you need trailer tires, we've either got them or we can get them. Fifth tires, generally speaking, we can usually get it. There may be sometimes we can't get, but generally speaking, we get any type of tire that you need. And then when you talk about service on your automobile, Farmers Tire Mart is really second to none. They take a lot of pride in it. They got technicians that are trained, some general maintenance stuff, and then they get into some stuff that's more than general maintenance, but from oil changes and lubrications to brake work to front end alignment, general mechanical work, what we do, Farmers Tire Mart. If your automobile's got a little plunk in it, a little plank in it, you're not sure what it is, bring it by Farmers Tire Mart or give them a call at 523-6735. Set up an appointment. They're open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 5 days a week until noon on Saturday, wanting to take care of your automobile. So if you're looking for tires, if you're looking for automobile service, remember Farmers Tire Mart, 1501 Malcolm Avenue, Newport, where the rubber meets the road. And again, remember us about Facebook at Farmers Tire Mart /Facebook and on the web at farmerstiremart.com. Farmers Tire Mart, where the rubber meets the road.
The Business Spotlight with Mr. Ted Hall, White River Area Agency on Aging, and had a great visit before we got on air, Mr. Ted, and we talk about seniors and we talk about taking care of those folks, and that's an obligation that we have as a society, and it's certainly an obligation that we have in what we do at White River Area Agency on Aging.
I really got you pumped
Yes,
up,
you did.
David.
Yes, you did. Had a great conversation. Talk a little bit about the people we need to take care of that are dear to our hearts.
Well, this is the deal that I see, and I'm into this job about a year and a half, and boy, I've learned a lot of things about seniors and really the responsibility that I think that we all need to take seriously.
Sure.
And I think in the coming years that with the budget issues that are going on in our country, that we've got to have a strong voice for seniors. And I think we just have to make sure that our folks that are in leadership on the state level, David, I'm talking about on the state level, and I'm also talking about on the national level, that we need to have a resurgence of respect. And that does mean money needs to come out. You know, we need to upgrade senior centers. We need to make sure that we're not having buildings that are in the 60s, 70s sometimes.
Right.
And some of them are very nice, and that we have even in the 10 county that we serve here at White River Area Agency on Aging. But there are others that are just subpar. And so I just think in general that we need to have a conscious brain thought that seniors are important. And if you talk to somebody very long, whether it be a politician or whether it be whoever, if you talk to them, they say, well, yeah, that's important that we make sure that they have food every day, and that, of course, that's our Meals on Wheels.
Sure.
It's important that they are able to go someplace and just visit, and if they want to play dominoes, or if they want to be on the computer,
Sure.
or whatever it is, we need to provide services for folks that need this. Now, what happens a lot of times, someone will lose a loved one,
Right.
and they don't have any place to go, and
Right.
they don't have or they think they don't.
Sure.
And a senior center can provide that void. And we have lots of people that come in, and even on Wednesday here in the Batesville and most of our other places, they have fish day, and they bring in a little band. They do the music back that they enjoyed and those kind of things. So it's just a matter of our thinking, and let's not forget the seniors. That's my theme today, and so it's important, and it's important that our folks that run our state and certainly our national level, that they continue to talk this up. And it's not that we've had anything negative, but I just want to make sure that someone that works with seniors in these programs, that we can maintain our funding, and that not only that, but we can even go beyond that and really get into helping seniors wherever they are.
We've been here 35 plus years in doing what we do, and you made a very interesting comment to me before we got on the air of our seniors are older today than what they were.
Absolutely.
I mean, a very interesting concept, but we're just older than we were the last generation or the generation before that.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting to me is that folks that used to go to the senior centers were in their 60s.
Right.
Now, I mean, they're still, people who are in the 60s are working, and they're still going but it seems like we've moved the senior maybe in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong if you want to go in the 60s.
Absolutely.
But the society has changed.
Absolutely.
But the big thing, we don't want to forget them.
Absolutely, that's right. Yeah,
And
think
so-
about these seniors and do a few things for seniors. We've talked about on this program before. I mean, if you're sitting at home and you're right now and you're watching the program and Saturday morning or Wednesday night or whenever the case may be, or it doesn't hurt to pick up the phone to call somebody. Just say, hey, just want to check on a neighbor.
That's right,
I mean,
absolutely.
all of us can do things. All of us.
Absolutely.
It doesn't cost any money to do that.
Absolutely.
Check on a senior. Check on a loved one.
Right.
Go take somebody to lunch.
Absolutely. David, one of the things that I think that we're seeing is even in our churches, there are people ready to do about anything. It's just sometimes we don't ask them
To do
or
it,
we
yeah.
just don't.
Yeah.
They don't know there's a need out there.
You're right.
And so, hey, there is a need. What you said, if we did that, we would solve a lot of our problems.
Once a week.
And one of the problems that that we find, even that hospitals find, is they'll have a patient, and when they leave the hospital, I mean, they're lonely. They dread going home because
Nobody
they go
there
into
taking
an empty house. So a lot of times they'll go back to the hospital
Yes.
when really they probably don't need to.
Right.
And just because they have people that are interested in them.
Sure.
So maybe what you're saying would be a great deal. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
We want to talk a little bit about housing. We
Right.
want to talk about
We got time to do that?
absolutely.
Okay.
We'll make time.
Okay, okay.
Housing that is provided and is formulas to qualify. But talk a little bit about our housing.
Well, okay, we do a lot of things. We have the Eagle Mountain Assisted Living here in Batesville. Our biggest thing that we do, David, is that we have about 650 employees, and of that 650, probably 500 or so are in homes every day in our 10-county area, and that's what we call our in-home services.
Right.
And that's people coming there. Our folks go in and cook meals, give baths, anything that needs to be done in the home. We've got people out doing that, and we've been doing it, like you said, for 35 years. So that's a big deal to do. But also we have our foster grandparent program, which we've talked about, our ombudsman program. But one program that we haven't talked a lot about is our housing, and we have 12 units or 12 complexes in our 10-county area.
Right.
And but we have about like in Cleveland County, we have one apartment complex, and then in Independence County we have 2, and then White County we have 6.
Wow. Yeah.
In Woodruff County we have 2 places, and in Sharp County. And what I'm talking about, these are apartments that someone are 62 years old or older, and they have to qualify. So that's important that that they need to call us, David. And of course, we have the 870-612-3000.
Okay.
That's here at the corporate
Right.
office. Go. We have a 800 number, which is 1-800-382-3205. And if they'll call those numbers, then we can explain to them how the housing program works. And there are 2 bedrooms or 1 bedroom apartments.
Okay.
And it's clean and it's
Sure.
taken care of. And they'll be around people at their age, and some of them have potlucks once a month and those kind of things like that. So, being lonely is a bad deal.
Yes, it is.
And so these are places that they can live, be around other people, and it's supervised, and we take care of the grounds and do all that kind of stuff. So if someone has a need like that and they can meet the certain guidelines that have to be met, then this would be a good opportunity for someplace that people can go. But it's just another way in which we can help seniors. That's what we've talked about all day today in this program is let's continue to work with whoever to make life better for seniors.
That's what we're all about.
That's right.
White River Area Agency on Aging. Mr. Ted Hall, it
Yes, sir.
is always a pleasure
You
to get
bet,
to come
Dave.
in and see you,
Appreciate
my friend.
you, sir.
Let's continue on with more of our show. John Chadwell, NEDC. Things are happening in Newport, Arkansas. Always a pleasure to get to see you, Mr. Chadwell.
Glad to see you.
Tell me what's going on in Newport, Arkansas. We've got a lot of things going on, a lot of great things happening. Big pluses for our little town.
They are. We talked about last time the 100 jobs being added at Southwest Steel. And then after the last show, we announced 100 jobs at Shearer's Foods.
Another 100.
And then another 100, so that's 200 jobs. And they're in the middle of hiring those at Shearer's Foods. Go to shearersfoods.com and you can look. They've got management jobs, they've got starting jobs, they've got something for people of all skill levels that they're looking for. And they're looking for people right now. And they have upped the wage over what people remember being at the Medallion plant. So the starting wage is a little bit higher than folks thought. Good jobs out at Southwest Steel that they're starting to hire and will continue to hire as the process goes on. But that's 200 jobs right there that will have a huge impact on our community. All you've got to do is drive around the community and see commercial buildings going up, law offices going up. I mean, you just see things going up all over town, along with the construction of the jail and the bridge and the this and the this. And you say, well, yeah, but we've seen, well, you got the downtown park and the demolition there and all of the stuff that's going to happen there. And you just start looking, and there's just amazing things going on in Newport. And we're starting to have some new problems.
Right.
And one of the new problems, you've been in real estate for a while.
Sure.
And you understand that there's been a period of time in Newport where a house didn't sell very quickly.
Right.
Well, that's not the case anymore.
It's not the case anymore.
They're starting to move, and the houses are starting to move. In fact, we're having people call our office just about every day for somewhere to buy, somewhere to rent, somewhere to, and we need those houses because we get a lot of people driving in, and a lot of these people who take these jobs may not live here. We want them to live here. We want them to be able to find a house. So Moving Jackson County Forward is starting to meet once a month. Moving Jackson County Forward is a group where businessmen and women put $500 a year into the pot, and then they all get together, brainstorm ideas, bring people in, and then they use that money to try to make something happen. They built the road out there along the interstate where the new elementary school is.
Sure.
They got that done and made that happen, made that come to pass. They've just done several things over the course of the last 10 years. And they've kind of been quiet the last year, but they've just really reorganized and started working on this housing thing. So if you want to be part of Moving Jackson County Forward, just call our office. We can hook you up. Richard Caraway is the chairman of that, and they're going to tackle how we get some more rental housing in here. How do we get some more already built kind of spec housing type stuff going on? What do we need to do? And I think that's going to be a big help for us.
I think when you drive down the center of our community, in the heart of our community, and just notice those things that are happening. And you talk about the new construction, and you talk about the bridge, and you talk about the other things that we're going to go on. The jail that is out of sight of, in downtown Newport, Arkansas. But so many projects that are big positives that are putting money back into the community. I mean, lots of folks are spending money here, and when you have these major projects like that, and I mean, lots of money being transferred, hands, and everybody can use an extra $1 or $2.
Well, that's true. It keeps the money circulating in our community, which is great. We've looked at the sales tax figures, and last year we ended the year 5% over the year before.
Right.
The year before that, we ended the year 4% over the year before that. This year, we're already up 6% over last year. Well, you start doing the math, we're up 15% in 2.5, 3 years.
Yes, sir.
You know, well, that's 15% more money being spent in the city limits of Newport. And part of that is we've got new places to shop and new stuff. But a lot of what happens in our community happens because of the leadership. And the leadership that we have in some of the elected positions, some of the appointed positions, but more importantly, it's leadership at all levels, and part of that is the New Vision Newport program.
Right. Mm-hmm.
New Vision Newport has done a fantastic job of training people to be leaders in our community, and those people who've gone through it have started stepping up into positions. They are on city council, they're on the quorum court, they're on the different committees, they're in the chamber, they're wanting to be involved, they're part of the civic clubs. And that kind of enthusiasm and that kind of work and effort always makes the community stronger. And New Vision Newport is taking, as you watch this, is taking applications for the next class.
Okay.
We have 20 to 25 people in it, and it is a fantastic opportunity for anybody in Newport to get to know about the community, to get to know ways you can work and serve, to learn some leadership skills, and then to make 20, 25 really, really good friends that
Sure.
you make throughout it. So we encourage you, if you're interested, call the chamber office and get an application to apply for New Vision Newport, because it will make a difference in your life, but more importantly, it make a difference in our community.
I've never talked to anybody that's been through that class that said that it wasn't as good as what they thought it would be, and most of these people say it was by far a lot better than what they could have ever imagined this class to be, so no doubt it's doing what it's intended to do.
We had one participant whose boss said, "You're going to go through this," and they were not enthusiastic going into it. You know, I'm got to go because my boss said I got to
Sure.
go. And they'd lived here all their life, and they said, you know, I've lived here a little over 40 years, and I can't learn anything about Newport. I already know about Newport. I don't know why he's making me go through this. I already know Newport. I said, I tell you what, if you go through 2 sessions and you hadn't learned something about Newport you didn't know, I'll pay your money back.
Is that
Even
right?
though your boss, you didn't pay it, your boss
Right.
did, but I'll pay you the money. After the first session, I'm sorry, I've already learned something. I can't take your money.
That's right.
So I promise, you may know Newport, but you will learn some things about Newport and about the community. We had one lady went through, and she said, oh man, when I started this, somebody would start complaining about Newport and complaining about Jackson County, and I just joined right in. And she said, now it makes me mad. And I get all offended. And I would say, but you don't understand.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
so that's what it is to help understand what's really going on in the community and be able to see what a lot of people are doing that isn't out there in the public, but they're working hard to make this place better.
Hey, this is a better place today than what it was yesterday, and hopefully it'll be a better place tomorrow than what it is today.
I think so.
And I would think with the great leadership that we have, we will continue to do great things in Newport. Thank you,
I
my
think
friend.
we will. Absolutely.
John Chadwell, NEDC.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the July edition of the Farmers Supply Association Agri Report. Today, as you can see, we're out in a grain sorghum field out south of Newport, and grain sorghum has become really a whole new crop in Arkansas this year. Acreage is way up. We're up to about 500,000 acres of grain sorghum in Arkansas this year. Never had that kind of acreage before. I think, last year maybe 160,000 or, somewhere between that and 200,000 acres of grain sorghum. So you can see a huge increase, more than doubled, maybe more than tripled of the acreage that we had last year and have had in recent years. I think the reasons for that would be fairly obvious to you. Obviously, economics plays a big part in what crop farmers choose to plant. And the price of grain sorghum's up a little bit this year. You've got a huge demand coming from China for livestock feed. You've got the gluten-free trend here in the United States and other places, and you can use sorghum as a gluten-free additive or food source for humans. So those are some of the reasons the price has gone up. Comparing with corn there, the cost of production for grain sorghum is about $300. Cost of production for corn about $600. And with the price, they're a little bit better for grain sorghum actually. You can see why farmers would want to plant grain sorghum. It's very good for the soil, helps build up the soil. It's good for pest management. It's good for weed control. We can kind of switch up our herbicides a little bit and fight the pigweed, and it's really just a good crop for our farmers. One thing with grain sorghum, it is a crop that has a lot of insect issues. We don't deal with insects as much in some of our other crops maybe as we do with grain sorghum. So right now, it's a big time of the year, as you can see in the background in this field here. South of Newport, this grain sorghum is starting to head out, and we have several insect issues to deal with. First thing we need to think about is the sorghum midge. It can be a very destructive pest of grain sorghum. It infects the grain sorghum during the flowering stage, which this field is just headed out and is beginning to flower. It's an ideal time for the midge to infest these fields. The good thing, usually the midge is something that affects the later crops. So since this crop is fairly early, we don't expect a big midge problem in a field like this, but some of the stuff that heads out later in the month, late July, even later than that, we could see some midge issues with that. So our farmers need to be scouting for that. Only during the flowering stage is the only time this can infect and cause problems with the grain sorghum. So when you see those yellow flowers on the grain sorghum head, which we see a lot of in this field right here, that's when you need to be scouting for the sorghum midge. It is a little fragile looking insect, kind of gnat-like insect with a orange abdomen. Once you see one, you'll never forget it. And remember to look for the orange. You'll see a lot of midge-like insects that are kind of dark colored. Don't worry about those unless they have the orange. If you find those and more than one per head when you're scouting, you need to go ahead and make a treatment for the midge. After the midge, we look for some of the head feeders. We have sorghum webworm, corn earworm, fall armyworm. If you find more than one per head of any of those, you need to treat the field for those insects. What they do is obviously they feed on that developing head. Once you have milk in the grain, that's when they really like to get in there and really chew on those developing sorghum seeds. So we really need to be looking for those. And again, when you find more than one per head, that is when you need to apply treatment. One other insect that has become a problem in grain sorghum is the sugarcane aphid. Sugarcane aphid has been down in Louisiana a long time, feeding only on sugarcane. Last year, for unknown reasons, it started feeding on grain sorghum. Really had never been noted on grain sorghum before, so it was really a surprise when they started seeing the feeding on grain sorghum. This was actually 2 years ago that they found it down there feeding on grain sorghum. And it really causes a lot of problems in grain sorghum. Last year it moved into Arkansas and quickly moved up the state. We saw some here in Jackson County. You know, usually when it gets in South Arkansas, it may take a year or two to get up here, but last year it moved all the way from Louisiana into South Arkansas into Northeast Arkansas, and we had a few fields treated around Newport area. What it does, it secretes this kind of honeydew or sticky substance on the leaves. And two things can happen because of that. You can have yield loss because of that sticky substance on the leaves and mold growing on that and interfering with photosynthesis and grain fill in our sorghum head, so it can affect yield. But maybe even bigger than that, it affects harvest if it's bad enough. You know, you have that sticky honeydew type substance on the leaves. The plant can get very sticky when it tries to go, you know, when that material tries to go through the combine, it can actually choke it up because it's so sticky. You know, when you have material going through the combine, you want it to be pretty dry where it can go through the combine real readily, but if it's sticky, it kind of clogs things up inside that combine. So that can be a big issue as well. So that's something we're really going to be watching with as we tape on July 1. It has been found as close as Lonoke County and Arkansas County and Jefferson County. So we fully expect it to get here, hopefully not in large populations. When scouting for this insect, you kind of just walk through the field and look for a sticky, again, that honeydew on top of the leaves. It'll kind of look real sticky looking, kind of shiny, maybe oily looking. And that's the easy way to identify you've got those. If you'll turn that leaf over where you see that sticky substance, you'll see the aphids on the underside of the leaf. The treatment level is when 25% of the plants in the field have at least 50 aphids per leaf on it. That's when we recommend pulling the trigger on that. None of our common insecticides are really very effective on the sugarcane aphid. There have a couple of new ones called Transform and Savanto, and those are the ones that our farmers will need to use to try to control this aphid when it gets in the grain sorghum crop. So again, grain sorghum acreage increasing substantially in Arkansas this year and other parts of the country as well. So we really want to make a good crop, and one of the big keys to making a good sorghum crop is to control these insects. Until next month, this has been Randy Klepeczka with your Farmers Supply Association Agri Report.
At Dillinger Funeral Home, this young guy is Mr. Tommy Allen, and each and every month here on the Business Spotlight, he joins us to talk about the great things going on at Dillinger. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
We want to talk a little bit about some progress going on. We've talked about progress, new addition inside the building. We've got more progress to talk about. steadily working towards improving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I guess nobody gets to the point in life where they're content and say that's good enough, especially in this business. You got to work at it, don't you?
Yeah, you have to work at it.
Tell us about the progress.
Oh, we're just getting a little facelift and new sign and some new flower beds and a little curb appeal and just draw a little attention. And we're just making some progress and making some changes. And
Excited about it.
I am excited about
Hey,
it.
let me ask you this. I mean, and this is kind of neat, and you'll believe this, and I think all of us do. When you go to purchase a home, I mean, you got to look at it and go, I kind of like that. Then you explore. I kind of like that. Or a car or whatever. Even in retail business and in your business, you don't want to drive by and go, I don't want to do business with those guys. Their flower bed doesn't look good. They don't take care of their stuff. They don't, you want to see something that's nice and neat. And obviously you guys have invested money and time and hard work to make the facility look pretty good.
We're steadily improving and just to better serve their families that entrust the care of their loved one to us.
Tommy, talk a little bit about, and we obviously never know what we're going to talk about when we get on here, but when you're talking about serving families, I mean, that runs deep. I mean, tell us, when you serve a family, how do you serve a family? Tell us not only about the funeral process, but even after that, so on and so forth. And how do we serve a family?
Our services don't end at the cemetery for
Right.
sure.
Okay.
And I've told you before that part of being a good funeral director is the ability to listen,
Right.
and to hear what they're saying, because that's what's important to them. They're not going to say, this is what's important to me, but what they're talking about is very important.
Absolutely. May not say it's important, but it is important.
It is important.
Or they wouldn't be saying it.
That's true. And when we listen to what they're saying and act on that, that is one of the greatest services you can do for a family, to let them know that you care.
Mr. Oddie Dillinger, many, many years ago, and of course that name is still out there, but historically, we talked a lot about the history of the business and Dillinger Funeral Home, but a lot of things that he implemented are the things that y'all continue to do today, only expanded upon and improved, just like you talk about making progress. It's a pretty good deal, isn't it?
It's a pretty good deal. Oddie Dillinger was a good guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And names on the side. Tell me about the sign. I love the new sign out front.
Well, it's obvious that our old sign had been here since the building was here. It was an internal lit sign. It was real old school.
Right.
And we just wanted to get into the 2015 and get an external lit sign and something you can see. And here's I had people tell me this. This is a true statement.
Okay.
I said, when I go look for Dillinger Funeral Home, I look for the Freeman office sign.
Is that right?
And
why
when I
not
see
the
that, I
Dillinger
know
sign?
that- yeah, because our sign was right on the ground. It was below the grade of the street. It just.
You could stand behind it, and it was about right here. If you were
Yes.
standing behind it, that's correct.
And so we're trying to correct that. If you're looking for Dillinger Funeral Home, we definitely want you to find it.
I never thought about that, but where's Dillinger? Just find the Freeman sign, and it's right there. It's right next door to the Freeman. You'll see the Freeman sign.
A lot of people have told me that over the years. We laugh about it, but we're just trying to make some improvements, reinvest in the business, and let the families know that we're putting money back into the business. We're here. We're going to be here for a long time, and we're just showing the families that we care about our community and trying to make things look better, improve on the looks of the funeral home, and just spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are always visible within the community.
We try to be.
You're visible at tell us some of the things that you guys do throughout the course of the year that makes you visible.
Well, I'm a member of the Lions Club,
right, and
have been for many years, and the Lions Club do a lot of things for our community, our motto is that we serve. The funeral home itself, we're very visible with the Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society. We do things with the baseball, the summer leagues, and the schools.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we just we try to be of help when we can. Charitable events, you know, and you'll see our tents all over town when somebody's having something, they're raising money for something, and they'll call us and say, you know, we're having an event and we want to know if we can borrow a tent, and you know, we're glad to always do that, and it's just little stuff that we do that you know, says we care.
Absolutely. Well, this is a caring business.
It is caring business.
Yeah, so you have to care, and I've said it often that in this business where you sit, it's probably more caring than what anybody could imagine, because you can't sit in this chair and not care up and beyond what most of us really care.
I've told you before, and I was raised in a minister's home. My father's a retired minister, and he pastored different churches. We pastored different churches. When the pastor pastors, family pastors.
That's right.
Whenever he moves church, we change schools.
That's right.
And that's the way that works. But I hadn't been in a funeral home probably 3 times in my life when I went to work at Dillinger Funeral Home in 1981.
Right.
But I very quickly became infatuated with the ability that funeral homes and funeral directors, employees, all the employees, not just the arrangers and the funeral directors, but the effect they have on families at one of the lowest points of their life.
The lowest, maybe the lowest.
And
yes.
So my dad was a minister in churches and pastored churches, but I have a ministry right here that I didn't know that I had until I was here.
Right.
And I just fell in love with the fact that I was able to help families. And at Dillinger Funeral Home, we listen to what the family tells us that's important to them. We act on that. We have a life celebration ceremony that reflects the life of the person that we're paying tribute to, and we do that every time.
There's no doubt about that, and that's all about caring.
It's all about caring.
Tommy Allen, good to see you, my friend. It's always a pleasure to get to come out and visit and talk about what you guys do and how much you guys care, and we certainly enjoy the pregame show that we do before y'all get to see what we talk about here, because this is important stuff, and what we talk about before is not important, and what we're going to talk about after is probably not real important either. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Tommy Allen, Dillinger Funeral Home. Out here on the highway, you'll see the sign. It's not next door to anything. It's just there. Look at the sign. We got to come to the Newport Village Mall with a beehive of activity. Charla Hill from St. Michael's Place here in Newport. And girl, it's happening on the day we filmed it. What do we got going on out here?
It is. White River Area Agency on Aging is sponsoring a health fair today from 9 to 1. And so we're out here and we're going to be busy.
Yeah, no doubt you've been busy. And a lot of good music, entertainment's good, and lots of folks set up with booths. And we have one here for St. Michael's Place. Tell me a little bit about Charla. Tell me a little bit about high school. Tell me about, and we'll get into talking about St. Michael's Place. Tell me a little bit about you, girl.
Well, I went to high school in Tuckerman.
Right.
I went there, and for just a few years, I moved there a little late in life, but I finished up school in Tuckerman.
Okay.
And I began working at St. Michael's Place in 2005, before it was even St. Michael's Place.
Right.
And I left for a couple years, thought I would broaden my horizons, but now I'm back because it's home. This is home to me.
Tell me a little bit about the story of coming back, and I know that we've talked about this. We've talked about this several times, where it's pretty important that you enjoy where you work, and there's no doubt this is a place that's dear to your heart. Talk a little bit about that.
Hey, we have a great group of people, and it's more than a job. There we have a family.
Yeah.
It's such a loving, caring, and wonderful environment, and I just absolutely love being there. It's my home away from home.
Well, I know you spend a lot of hours out there, as you have to in this kind of business, and good group, and Catherine, the new administrator, and I guess y'all had worked together prior to you coming back?
Yes, previously Catherine was our marketing director when it was Newport Healthcare, and I was in the business office.
Okay.
And so when Catherine came back, she called me and she said, hey, I'm getting the old crew back together and I need you.
I just think it's so neat.
It is. It is. We've always been family, and now we're back with our family in our rightful place.
Tell me exactly, and tell us exactly, what do you do at St. Michael's Place? What's your job responsibilities, and how do you get it done every day?
I am Director of Admissions and Marketing, so
Okay.
I come out and I do health fairs like this one,
Right.
and I go out in the community and I visit with folks and get our name out there, and then once someone needs short-term placement or long-term care, they come to me and I get them ready and do all the admission, and the nursing staff takes over from there, and therapy staff.
Well, there's no doubt that you do a great job, and when Catherine gets on the phone and starts calling people, and she's told me this, she said, I had a few key people for me to be the administrator at St. Michael's Place. I couldn't be the administrator without having to hire a couple of key people to make it work for Newport,
Absolutely.
Arkansas, and you were on that very short list, and of course she hires you, as they say in Hollywood or whatever, the rest is history.
Right, absolutely, and not just me, but our new DON, Julia Verdeja.
Right?
She is absolutely amazing,
Yep.
along with the rest of our staff. We have such a wonderful team. I can't be more proud of the people that she's assembled in this community for this purpose.
St. Michael's Place, whether you're needing short-term care, long-term care, come visit with us. We've been there a long, long time, and when the St. Michael's, the new owners put in several years ago and spent literally millions of dollars on the upgrade of the facilities, and it's a nice place for your loved ones to be, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Charlotte, we appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Good to see you, girl.
Good to see you.
Let's continue on with more of our show here on the Business Spotlight.